Has been badly neglected and just watered for the last few years. This is the close-up of the trunk and the branch structure. It really is a nice tree, but as I said earlier, it has been badly neglected, and I will shortly start working on it. I just wanted to get it on as a photos and videos before I did any work. I have removed quite a few branches which were growing downwards, which is going south as I like to call it, and I've also removed quite a few dead branches and will continue to do so. There's another dead branch which I'm about to remove. There's this large one here. It's fairly longish. And when I acquired it, it was very badly neglected. The canopy was over 3 feet wide and the pot was broken. And the first thing we did was to reduce the size of the canopy, take it in, and also to repot it in a temporary pot. And we are now going to attempt to repot it into a newer pot and much shallower pot. I have just returned from Japan, and they are using very, very shallow pots for big trees. So that's what we're going to try and do. And it hasn't been repotted for a very long time. And it'll be interesting to see what we find immediately below the surface here. And it had been pushed up in its previous pot, and this is what we had ended up with. And it was a temporary job, so we will now take it out of its pot, but before that give it a quick turn so you can see what we are starting with. It's a beautiful tree, and it's an old tree. We have managed to release the tree, and we are now going to lift it out of the pot. There we go. Right. And this was repotted about 2 years ago, and it seems to be have extensive roots, so we're going to have to start from the top. Yep, it's fairly root bound, as you can see, and we'll remove the mesh and also remove the wires that's holding it in. There's another wire here. There's another wire here, which I'll need to use a hook to release it before I can pull it out. There's a wire here. There's another wire. There's lots of wires. This tree was with the same owner for about 40 odd years, and the canopy was so wide, it was about 36 inches. So God knows when it was last repotted. And the last we repotted it temporarily without actually touching the roots or doing any removal of any soil. Just added the soil in that mica pot. and that was his temporary home. So it's around the trunk that I want to see what's going on. And also there is a fair amount of moss. So I'll try and remove that to see what exactly is going on here. This is going to take a long time. But we are going to carry on with this and catch up when we've made some progress. It is now 2 hours since we started working on the roots, and we've removed quite a bit from the top and the bottom, and we're finding some very, very large roots. Here, this is a very, very large root here going right round, and it's not doing anything for the tree. It's not a feeder root. It's very, very thick, and we're going to cut this back and remove these rather large roots. And I want the tree to fit into a very shallow pot, so we will be removing quite a lot of the roots from the top because this is where the lack of repotting had pushed everything up. And we will repot this tree again next year and gradually try and improve the root system and the root ball. We are going to remove this big root. Not sure if you can see it very well, but it's quite a major root, quite thick, over 1 inch thick, and it's not doing anything for the tree, and we are going to remove it. As you can see, we are having to use cutters. Not fully cut, so we're going to have another go. We are cut from here, so see if you can remove the bit in the middle. Yeah, it is cut. That's where we've removed a section of the root, and so we're now going to remove the rest of it. I have a feeling that this root has gone over here, so cut here and then cut another. We'll have to remove it by making small cuts. Yep, now keep cutting back. Just goes to show when it was last repotted. I guess for about 20 odd years it hasn't been repotted, and that is the reason for the state that the roots are in. But it is in our hands now, and we will sort it out and make sure that this doesn't happen again. These are all rather very thick roots which are being removed. And as I said, they are not doing anything for the tree. They're not feeder roots. So also gradually will reduce the root ball over the next 2 to 3 years. But for today, we will try and get it repotted without reducing it too much. It's taken close to 3 hours now, and we have ended up with this nice root ball. There were a lot of branches which were crisscrossing at the top and also going around the trunk, virtually strangling the tree. We're going to give it a turn so we can see the large roots that we've cut back. You can see the whites of the roots. They were horrendous, massive, and they were not doing anything for the tree, and so we've had to remove those. And so this is back to the front. That's the front of the tree. And we'll now have a look at the bottom. We've also removed some serious stuff from the bottom of the tree, as you can see. And you can see the white roots that we've removed. We're now starting to repot the tree, and we prepared the pot, wired it all up for the anchors, and just placing bonsai soil in the middle of the pot. And we're also going to add a few chicken pellets. We've added chicken pellets to the soil mix, and we are now going to place the tree into the pot, making sure that the front, that's the front, is facing the right way around. And we'll now ease the tree into the pot. It's easier said than done. Just tidying up the pot and driving the bonsai soil at the lower parts of the tree to make sure that there are no air pockets, and this will take a little while. It's a big tree, and to drive it all below the root ball is going to be time consuming. Right, it has taken us 5 hours to deal with this repot. It's been extremely difficult, but we've got there in the end, and this is the finished product. All I've got to do is now move it into the center of the lawn and give it a very fine mist spray. And before I do that, I'll do that off camera, as we are getting incredibly tired and we want to finish now. I'll give it a quick turn. And I think the shallow pot does suit it. And that's back to the front. Rather unfortunate, the Emirates have decided to fly over us, but that's one of the hazards of living close to the Heathrow airport. Thank you for watching, and to watch more, please subscribe. And also I want to say a big thank you to Wojak for giving me a hand with this. It suits the round pot and is a much smaller pot than it was in before, and looks more of a bonsai now than it did